Hello and welcome to KupoCast this June 22nd. Secret, it's not June 22nd. I am recording this a few days ahead. As I mentioned in the last cast, my internet can be a little bit unpredictable. I do live in rural Prince Edward Island and the internet's not amazing. I remember when I first moved here, I think I got speeds of like half a meg, which was rather concerning. Now we're rocking like 70 or 80, but it does drop on occasion, and the last thing I want to do is interrupt the cast. So here I am to talk about all the upcoming Kupo news, but as I said, this is pre-recorded. However, a big thank you to the community moderators and staff that are in the chat, probably along with myself. If I am, I'm going to say hello now. Hello, Alex, in the future. We are here to answer any questions that you might have. So let's get cracking. Well, thanks for being here first. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday to join me for KupoCast. Lots to talk about. I don't want to delay in any form. Let's just rock on straight into it. Actually, no, before we rock on into it, I do want to talk a little bit about the new podcast that we launched, which is YZP. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's just have a quick look at what YZP is.
Of all funnies. We're doing our own version with a little Between Two Moogles, and we are joined by the one,
the incredibly talented, right?
The eternally talented, the warrior of light.
Yeah, but you're milking it. Don't milk it.
Hello. Hello.
John, has Alex
Hello.
walked you through this podcast?
No. You've done one already?
He's a liar.
I thought it was the first one. No,
this is a pilot. It's a pilot.
Okay, cool.
It's the first and last.
Alex told me what we were doing, and I was all excited because I'm like, what? Caleb and Hetty? What? And then I saw that
John
picture.
Bentley, we were pumped.
This is the dream team. This is, if you wanted to inaugurate anything, you need to invite the three of us.
It's Bentley.
Hetty, you look great. Look at your pretty hair.
You.
Hetty's thriving.
I smell better than I look.
So that was a little preview of the Una and Zach podcast. That was the pilot episode. We've had really good feedback on it. I think some people think I may have overdid it a little bit on the cutaways, but I can pull back on that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to record, and I am pleased to report that the pilot has been picked up. Caleb has been bugging me for days. Has our pilot been picked up? Has it been picked up? Well, yes, it has been picked up, and I'm pleased to report that episode 2 will be coming to YouTube sometime later this month. Probably it could be actually into early July by the time we actually get it up, but it is coming, so look out for that very special next episode. And I'm sure you could probably guess who the next guest is, can you? So anyway, as I said, let's move on. Let's jump right into it. Lots to talk about today. Let's start with Pom Voyage. Tickets are selling really strong. Very pleased with how everything's going. It's certainly better than the previous sales in Montreal, which is great. It's not quite up to par with Toronto, but we didn't expect it to be. But we are very, very happy with the progress so far. We've gone ahead and added more of the base tier. So we know that people are on a tighter budget. So we've gone ahead and added more of the base tier, and we've increased the capacity of the event. I don't think we'll push it much further. So if you do want a ticket, what you see is probably what we have. So you should probably jump on that. At the time of recording, I think there was about 70-ish, maybe it was 80-ish tickets of each type left. So please do keep an eye on that. Pleased to report that we have kind of expanded on what we're planning for the evening. I guess from a North American perspective, one of the biggest criticisms we've received is that our evenings are a little bit too plain. I guess that there's a want for more Final Fantasy music and more activities. And even on the UK front, we've had people say, I miss the activities in the evening. So we are going to go back to more of an activity, fun-filled, structured evening. Not taking away too much from that party vibe, of course. We still want to have a dance and just let our hair down. But in the same breath, you know, I understand I'm not much of a dancer. And when I say not much, I am not a dancer. So I understand that people would prefer to have a little bit of structure to their evening. So we are going to go back to that with some activities. All the guests will be in attendance for the evening, and there will be Final Fantasy music throughout the night. Up until recently, what we've been doing is having Final Fantasy music pretty much for the first hour, and then, or half an hour in some cases, and then going on just a, you know, popular music. And I understand that that's not for everybody. People expect to hear Final Fantasy music throughout the night. It is a Final Fantasy fan event, so we are going to make sure that we tick that box. It won't just be Final Fantasy music. That would be a bit too much, I think, but we're going to work some remixes in and some classics throughout the night. There will be our final guest announcement very, very soon. I've seen a lot of rumors of who you think it might be. I cannot comment, I'm afraid, but we will be announcing that guest very soon. So keep an eye on our social media for that final guest announcement. I'm also pleased to report that the autograph bundles will be going live on August 1st. Time will be confirmed on our website soon. Top tickets get priority access to the autograph bundles, as was described on the ticket page, and they're going to be priced at 129 Canadian dollars, putting it at the exact same price that we charged for our bundles in Vancouver. So no increase there. So we're very pleased with that. And if you look at these little images here, you will see a little preview of the Pom Voyage quest log, which is very airline themed, very airport, very passport-like. Then you've got the cool kind of flicker ticker board t-shirt, and then you've got the plane from the artwork for the Pom Voyage bag. So very, very cool loot. We'll be showing off some of the other loot across social media as we get a little bit closer to the event. And that's pretty much all I have for you on Pom Voyage. There is a lot of other things to talk about, especially when it comes to our 10-year celebration, but we are very excited for that event to come around. As I said, keep an eye on social media, and we'll have more as we get a bit closer. So now we move on to an exciting update about the KupoCon website. Now, we have tried, even before the launch of KupoCon, to have a kind of a Final Fantasy news website, and we've tried it in various forms and formats, and it just hasn't worked for us. I think it comes down to generally not having enough time, and also there are honestly better websites that can keep you, up to date with Final Fantasy news. But in the same breath, we have an opinion on the games that come out, and a lot of the time we do have an opportunity to play things, and we would love to be able to share that opinion with you, and obviously help you make the right choices. Also, we know that our community have very strong opinions about the Final Fantasy titles. So what we wanted to do is try and incorporate that into the current KupoCon website. And that's why we are launching a new section called Rotten Gazelles. And the point of this is to allow us to review Final Fantasy titles, but also give them a rating, a score between 0 and 100. But we're also going to be able to say whether we think they're rotten, and hopefully there won't be too many rotten vegetables out there. Now, obviously, the gazelle is named after the vegetable that the chocobo eats, and we've come up with some little icons here to show, if a game is fresh, or in a really worst case scenario is rotten. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start releasing reviews on current Final Fantasy titles and the new ones as they come out. And we're also going to be doing surveys with our community where we ask them for their opinion, and then we will have the KupoCon score next to the community score, and these reviews will be posted freely available on KupoCon.com. And this is something that we'll be launching this month. It will obviously take us some time because we're going to have to go through a backlog of a lot of Final Fantasy titles. We're going to focus on the most recent ones to begin with and try and build up, kind of an archive of the older titles. We're going to work on that, and I think, with titles like the new Tactics coming around the corner, with the remaster of that, I think it's kind of exciting that we're doing this. So look out for more information on our website later this month. So now we move on to the KupoCon online store. So we've gone ahead and we've updated Kupo.shop. We've tried to prettify it a little bit. We've also added better descriptions. We've started adding more photographs, video content, So please do check that out. We've removed a lot of the faff that was there. A lot of those products have now been removed from the store, things that were really old. If we had like random odd t-shirts here and there, there's no point in having listings for, 2 small shirts and 1 large, 4 medium. Like, it's not worth it, especially when you go on there, you get excited and then realize we have like 0 stock. We just have 2 or 3 left, right? So we've removed those items. We've also added new boosters, which I'll touch on when we get to the TriPom section. Mozart Volume 3. For this, I have to apologize. We were meant to list this all the way back in, I think it was March, but for some reason it skipped our minds. We forgot. I think we were working on another show at the time, and it totally got missed. So for that, I apologize, but I am pleased to report that Mozart Volume 3 is available to pre-order right now in our store, and we hope to ship it this winter. So you can go ahead and pre-order it, and we will get that out to you as quickly as possible. I think it will be early winter. We'll aim for a little bit before that, but it depends on how fast the factory move. It does sometimes take a while, and we have to wait for the masters to arrive so that we can hear them and make sure that we're happy with them. But we are opening pre-orders today, right now, on Kupo.shop. Again, talking of the store and talking of TriPom in general, let's have a look at what TriPom has to offer. So quite a bit to unpack here. Generation 7.2 will launch in October. We just launched Generation 7.1. That's been going out in boosters to patrons. I hope you're enjoying those new cards. They are also available at Kupo.shop to purchase right now in boosters and in the Ultima box. For Generation 7.2, that again will launch in October, we have new standard, limit break, weapon, location, pixel, and random encounter cards. Lots of really exciting cards to look at. Please keep up to date with our Patreon for the latest preview on those cards. If you look just below my cam here, you can see some of the new cards. Look at this amazing Agrius card. The timing. Sambrek looking wonderful. And then we also have a new card that we're testing right now, which we call an Overdrive card. Now, Overdrive is obviously based on Final Fantasy X. It's their version of a limit break. So what we've been doing with this prototype card is we are taking a point from 2 other ranks. The ranks are the 4 numbers on the card. We're taking a point from 2 different ranks and adding it to one of the other ranks. So in this case, we removed a point from the north and the south and added it to the east to make the east overpowered, and therefore making this the overdrive of the card. It's a new idea. We're testing it. We're going to be rolling it out with patrons very soon to see if it sticks. But I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's likely what we'll be doing. We'll be adding a new section to the Ultimania, kind of pointing out all these additions that we're adding to the series. So that's quite exciting. We've also gone ahead and kind of streamlined our boosters. So now we have 4 different types of boosters available in the online store. So going from right to left, we have the generational booster, which has the Fat Chocobon. This is your current generation. Everything that's currently available, apart from your starter packs, of course, everything else is going through this generational booster in the main series. Next to that, you have Brothers boosters. Now, Brothers boosters are full of cards that are probably end of line, don't fall under another category. Perhaps they're not A grade cards, maybe they're B grade or C grade that just didn't pass our quality checks, but they're cards that people really still want. There could be prototypes in there could be old foils, random upon random, but some people have pulled some really cool cards from the Brothers boosters, so they're certainly worth checking out. Next to that, you'll find the Job Class booster, which is the Endwalker series boosters. So do check those out. They have all the job classes in. If you're missing any of those classes, this is a great opportunity to fill out that collection. And then next to that is a brand new booster that just launched, which is the Pixel series booster. Now, up until recently, the Pixel series were exclusive at TriPom, and then they were moved to Patreon, but now they're available widely, and you can pick up a booster over on Kupo.shop. And now we have Pixel characters going all the way from Final Fantasy 1 all the way through to the current titles, and the pixel artwork gets more detailed as you progress through the series. 1 through 6 is a very basic pixel art, and then once you go past into 7 all the way up to 16, it gets a little bit more intricate. Very cool. As you can see, Yuna here, Final Fantasy X, looking very, very sharp. I also have some good news that we're going to be launching another booster very soon, which is the Artist Series booster. Now, if you've been around in KupoCon for a while, or perhaps you've been collecting TriPom recently, you will know that we have Artist Series sets, where we will hire an artist. We hire them to produce 5 cards. We put it in a booster, or in a set, I should say, and then we sell it. We've decided to move away from that because we want to keep hiring artists, and we're going to start doing random boosters. So our intention is to hire some new artists over the next 6 months, and we're going to be introducing Artist Series boosters. You'll get a set inside the booster, but they'll be completely randomized. It will be by all different artists, and the aim of the game is to collect all of them. So when I do my next KupoCast, which will be towards the end of this year, I will be able to show off some of those new artist series, and there's a small possibility we'll be able to release some before then. So look out for the new artist series boosters coming. The current artist series are still available in the store. Once they're gone, they're gone. Those do have foils in. I don't believe we'll be continuing with the foils in the artist series, but the standard cards will also eventually make their way into those artist boosters. Quite a bit there on the TriPom front. I hope that all made sense. We will, of course, provide social media posts going forward and updates on our website that kind of go into more detail. And of course, check our store and the TriPom Ultimania. We also do have a listing of all the cards available over on our website. Now, things are about to get a bit more exciting. We're going to move into the 10-year stuff. There is a lot to unpack here. So 10 years of Kupo. It's almost impossible to believe, but KupoCon is turning 10 on March 28th, 2026. That would be the birth of KupoCon. That would have been 10 years before, in 2016, March 28th, that we would have announced that KupoCon was a thing. Makes me feel very old. The receding hairline is certainly more prominent than it was then. Celebrations are going to begin in London in February 2026, and I'll be talking about that event very, very shortly, so bear with me. Celebrations are going to go all the way through until January 2027, which would have been when we first hosted the Big Pom, which was the first KupoCon just under a year later, which is super cool to kind of see that kind of transition from conception to the first event. Content and events will be online and in person. So we have a lot of online content for those of you who can't attend Kupo in person, but we also have a lot of physical things planned, so stay tuned for that. Pomline will absolutely return during this period. We're going to do some online interviews with guests. There's going to be an online quest log, lots of things to look forward to. There's going to be special anniversary merch. Well, of course, we did things for our 10th event. We did things for our 20th event. For our 10-year anniversary, of course, we have to do something. So there will be a wonderful line of Kupo merch to celebrate that 10 years. I'm sure TriPom will be in there somewhere. I couldn't possibly comment on anything right now, but there's a lot in the works. So keep your eyes out for the 10-year anniversary merchandise. We're going to be returning, bringing back, creating, muddle of words, but we're going to be bringing back something that we've done previously online that was a huge success. I cannot say any more than that right now, but look out for information as we progress into the year. We're going to need you for it. And then finally, which is something that I didn't expect to announce today, but I decided that it felt like the right audience to present it to. I will present it to the AEX audience as well at some point. In fact, I'll probably share this feed directly into them. But for those of you who follow the kind of work that I do outside of KupoCon, I do also produce a show called the Atlantic Entertainment Expo. We currently have shows in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Fredericton in New Brunswick, and an upcoming show in St. John, New Brunswick. And they are pop culture events, and they were born from my love of doing KupoCon. I realized that I enjoyed doing it, and I thought it might be fun to try doing something that was just pop culture and wasn't just Final Fantasy. But when you go to AEX, you will, if anyone's had the opportunity to go, you'll get a Kupo vibe. There are certain things that we do at AEX that are inspired heavily by what we do at KupoCon. And it just so happens that for the last 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 years, the date of AEX in Charlottetown has always fallen on or very close to the birthday of KupoCon. And in fact, the weekend of AEX next year falls exactly on March 28th. So it only seemed appropriate. And one of the questions that I get asked quite often is, would you ever consider doing a KupoCon on Prince Edward Island? And I was like, no, it's too niche. It wouldn't bring big enough of a crowd. But then it hit me one day. I was like, I don't need to. I can do a crossover. So AEX in Charlottetown on March 28th and 29th will have a KupoCon aspect to it. Now, that's not to say the whole show will be Final Fantasy. It won't be. It's a pop culture event. It covers all popular culture, movies, TV, comic books, trading cards, all sorts of things. But we are going to bring certain aspects of Kupo to the show. There will be a KupoCon quest log. There will be a Final Fantasy guest. So there are going to be certain things that we're going to add to the mix. The quest log will be an additional purchase, but it will allow the two worlds to combine. So if you fancy traveling to the island in the winter, it's pretty nippy. I guess we'd be bordering on springtime, but it's still pretty nippy. But if you'd like to come on over and see AEX and experience a bit of that Kupo vibe, perhaps you volunteer at Kupo and you want to come and help out with the Kupo aspect of AEX, then here's your opportunity. So that's where we'll be here on Prince Edward Island for the exact date of the 10-year anniversary of Kupo. Okay, now it's time to move on to the big announcement, which is Mega Pom. Now, we shared the name and the artwork of the event a few days ago. I'm just going to show the artwork to you again. I'm sure you'll agree this is a stunning piece of artwork, again, by the ever-talented Vivian Lee, an artist that we've been working with for a very long time now. I think it must be it's got to be 5 or 6 years now, hasn't it? Jolyn had the opportunity to come to PomX all the way back in 2019. So yeah, it's been longer than 5 years, 5, 6, maybe even 7 years. I love working with Vivian Lee, a very talented artist, and this artwork, of course, is no exception. So let's move on. Now it's time to look at Mega Pom. Now, there's going to be a lot of information to unpack here, so I want you to bear with me. I'm going to go over quite a lot. There's going to be a lot of information on the screen. Try not to let your eyes get too carried away. I'm going to talk about a lot of things. Some things I may miss. I may not go into great detail on everything, but the website will certainly answer all your questions. Be sure to read the FAQ at the bottom. And if for some reason there's something in there that you don't feel that we've covered, please simply just reach out to us at support@KupoCon.com. So I begin by confirming that the event will be at the Novotel London West, which we've already confirmed, on February 14th and 15th, 2026. That is Valentine's weekend, so bring a loved one. It's the most expansive Kupo ever made. We are really pushing the boat out here. I can't talk too much about layout at this point. It will depend very heavily on how many people end up going to the event, but the focus is very much on the community and the milestones that KupoCon has hit along the way. A very special event indeed. So let's talk about what the days entail. So Saturday, February 14th will run from 9 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. It's the main show day. It's everything you know and love about Kupo, right? So you've got your featured guests who will be there having their interviews done. We'll have our cosplay show, all the awards and ceremonies, the opening and closing will be done, the paid signings. Of course, you'll have access to your quests and hunts and activities and all that such. And there'll be the giant Final Fantasy themed market as there always is. Then on Sunday, February 15th, which will run from 10 till 4, you'll have the Community and Franchise Day, where, of course, you can still cosplay. We also encourage franchise-based cosplays. Maybe you want to do Kingdom Hearts or Nier or something else from the Square Enix, library of games. We have community panels, so there's smaller niche topics that are being in a much smaller room. We'll have our buskers, we'll have displays, we'll have competitions. We also bring back the event square, which we did in Glasgow, which worked really, really well. It's one of the things that we did way back in the day. There'll be the TriPom tournament. And of course, your quests, your hunts and activities will continue and the market will still remain. So the market is 2 days. So 2 very jam-packed full days of Final Fantasy goodness. Now, the joy of the Sunday is that the signings will be a little bit more relaxed because that's when we do our bundles. So on Saturday, if you purchase a bundle, you get to watch all the interviews with all the featured guests and enjoy yourself. And then on the Sunday, you can go do those bundles without the fear of missing anything because it's on a separate day. So very, very smooth, very, very nice. Now, the evening. Oh, this is a conversation that has come up a lot. We were trying to work out what theme we should go for. Took a little bit of time to get there, but we got there, and I'm pleased to announce that the evening is going to be called Pompton's Holiday Park. For those of you outside the UK who are a little bit confused right now, I couldn't possibly comment on whether it's very similar to a other holiday brand in the UK, but we are hosting a special UK-esque holiday kind of crazy vibe. How would I describe this? How do I even begin to describe this? If you've ever been to like a Butlins or something like that, it's this kind of, it'll have like a family-esque vibe, but will not be family-esque vibed. It's very hard to explain, but it's going to be holiday focused with fun entertainment, with a little bit of pizzazz. We're going to be doing a lot of fun activities in the evening. I'm really struggling to find the words to explain how this evening will work, because as soon as I say the word that I want to say, I'll ruin the whole thing. But it's going to be a wild night of activities and games, of music, of performances, just activities galore. A lot of fan favorites are going to make a return, exclusive merch in the evening, and you're encouraged to wear like an over-the-top kind of blazer, so Eric is sorted, and holiday gear. I'm not necessarily saying you need to wear like t-shirt and shorts or whatever, but you want to have that kind of holiday, UK holiday vibe, and we'll certainly kind of provide you with some more context on the website. But I don't want to say too much because I think it will ruin it, but it's going to be a really fun-filled family but 18 plus evening. So yeah, if you've ever been to one of these like holiday camps in the UK where you go to like the club in the evening and they have like they have performers and they have like impersonators and things like that, it's going to have that kind of vibe to it. So yeah, it's going to be fun, a lot of fun. Let's talk a little bit about those tickets, because I know that this has been something that a lot of people have been wondering what's going to happen, which is, understandable. So ticket pricing has been updated. It has been increasingly difficult to keep prices for KupoCon affordable. We are trying, we're working very hard on it. We recently increased our Patreon by a couple dollars for those of you who are stuck with us through that. I really appreciate that. If it wasn't for our patrons, we would have been doomed a long time ago, so thank you for that support. We are seeing increased costs across the board, from simple stuff like hiring the van to take the stuff in, to the storage locker where we store things, to the cost of shipping the goods from one country to another, for the cost of shipping the goods in, say, from Asia to the UK for an event. Just everything has gone up. Everything, even the simple stuff like website hosting or online storage or everything, just everything has gone up. So we have to make certain, changes and certain increases to make sure that this event is still viable. So we decided that the best choice was to stop doing individual tickets for Saturday and then adding Sunday as an add-on. We've just combined the two, because at the end of the day, we still have to spend the same amount on the venue. For example, the UK venue is costing north of £25,000. So I have to be very clear that this is a very expensive event. That's not even venue costs. There's a lot more on top of that to be accounted for as well. So we've decided to combine it, just like what we did for Montreal, and Montreal tickets have sold very, very well. So there is no single day, it is a weekend. Consider it similar to FanFest. For 14 FanFest, you wouldn't go to one day and not the other. They're two very different days. We are providing an entire weekend of Final Fantasy goodness, so it is a singular ticket. The other good news is we're bringing back the early Chocobo discount. Now, this is something that we offered several years ago, and from the beginning of KupoCon, we offered an early Chocobo discount, which gave you a discount. I think it started off as 10%, then we had to drop it to 5%, and then at COVID, we had to remove it because we just couldn't manage it anymore. But we're bringing that discount back, and the great thing is it auto applies. So to all those individuals who forget to put the code in, which there's lots of you, and we're all guilty of it, don't worry, the discount will auto apply. So we are bringing back the early Chocobo discount. Okay, so let's look at those tickets. Let's look at the different types, the prices, and everything in between. So we're going to take our time. We're going to go through each one. So to begin with, before we get started, the first thing I want you to know is that the yellow pricing is the early Chocobo discount. And this is the price you will pay if you purchase your ticket within the first 24 hours of public sales. That's not the pre-sale. The pre-sale will also be included in the early Chocobo, but in the first 24 hours of the public sale or the pre-sale, you will pay the price in yellow. So the base ticket, which is our standard ticket, is Mithril. That will include the all-important KupoCon quest log. We removed NPC tickets a few years ago because coming to Kupo without a quest log is crazy. You don't enjoy the experience. I mean, you will enjoy it, but you'll feel like you're missing out a lot, and you are. If you've never been to a Kupo before, what is a quest log? It is a wonderful experience. We have a wonderful outline of how it works over on our YouTube channel if you watch our Kupo 101 series on the quest log. But simply put, you receive a quest log, you complete quests during the day, you hunt down cosplayers, take photographs with them, do certain video activities, all sorts of things, and in exchange you will earn gil, and then you take that gil over to Owaka's and you can spend that gil to get free merchandise. It is a completely wonderfully unique system to KupoCon, which is absolutely, it's essentially Kupo, and it does make a big difference. So everyone who comes to the event, every single person will have a quest log. So that is £69 for the entire weekend for both days. If you purchase after the early Chocobo discount, it will be £79. Now we move up to Orasite, which is £99, or if you buy it after the early Chocobo, it is £109. That includes your quest log, of course, but it also comes with a tote bag, a curation of TriPom cards, a commemorative ticket, and a commemorative pen. It's a nice kind of midpoint if you want a few little extra goodies. So that is the mid-tier. And then we move up to Crystal, which is our top tier ticket. As you can see, we only have 3 ticket types instead of the 4th one that we had in Glasgow. We decided to keep it simple for this one. So Crystal is our top tier option. It includes everything that's included in Orasite. Plus it comes with an event t-shirt, and it comes with several other mystery goodies that are crafted especially for this milestone event. On top of that, you of course get access to the autograph bundles before anyone else, and you get reserved seating for main stage events. And it's the ultimate way to support Kupo and to obviously enjoy yourself. And that's priced at $149 for the early Chocobo discount and $159 for standard. And then Pomtins, which is our Saturday night celebration of I can't even find the words. I should have come up with a way to explain it, but this high energy celebration will bring fans together for crazy activities. Lots of fun to be had that evening. On the early Chocobo sale, it's £20, and on the standard after, it's £25. That's quite a chunky discount. So you will see that there is an opportunity to save £10 on your main pass and £5 on your evening if you buy within that first 24-hour period. Now, why would we do this? It is much easier for us to plan a Kupo and to just curate the entire event if we have the funds up front to do it. So it's much better as a show organizer to know exactly who's coming, how many, etc. right off the bat, because it makes planning so much easier, and a lot of the time you can get better discounts, which means we can offer you a better discount. Now, if you're looking at these prices and going, well, this doesn't really feel like much of an increase. Well, it's really interesting that you say that, because let's compare that to Glasgow. Glasgow, day 1 was 39, day 2 was 25, the party was 25, which brought you to a total of £89. Megapom in London is a weekend pass at 69, the party's 20, it's come down by a £5, which, oh, look, brings you to £89. Now, I don't know about you, but 2 days of Kupo and a party for 89 quid sounds like a bloody good weekend to me. And I am thrilled that based on the fact that we're going to be doing this for a limited period for the early Chocobo period, we're able to do this price and keep it the same as Glasgow, again, is absolutely ridiculous, especially in the financial climate that we're in. So please, if you want to take advantage of that deal and you want to save yourself £15, you're going to want to get right on that, and you're going to book either during the pre-sale or you're going to book on day one. So plan for it, write the date down, pop it in a reminder, put it on the fridge, do what you need to do to remember, but save that cash. Now, you're probably, God, I got through that really quickly, but oh no, we're not done. I have one final announcement to share with you for Megapom.
The point of KupoCon, first and foremost, every single time, is each other.
I've had encounters with people who've come and they've either met someone or they've made a connection that has become a friendship that has become like the bedrock for their life.
That is, in a nutshell, what KupoCon's about. That is exactly what it's about. It's about making connections with people that will last.
My name is Eric Metzloff, and I'm the creator of Project Origin for King and Con, a feature-length documentary exploring the story behind the Final Fantasy fan event, KupoCon. We originally planned to premiere the film this August in London, but after some reflection, we made the decision to postpone. Rescheduling allows more of the community to attend, and it's given us valuable time to refine the film. This isn't just about how KupoCon began. It's about the people who built it, the community that grew around it, and the real moments. The highs, the struggles,
Sorry.
and everything in between.
I'm cool now.
It's not a promo piece. It's honest, heartfelt, and I think more powerful than many will expect. I'm proud to say the new premiere will take place at Megapom in London on February 15th as part of KupoCon's 10-year anniversary celebrations. Tickets for the screening will be available as an optional add-on. Thanks for your patience. I can't wait for you to see it.
So that's right, it's official. We are proud to announce that Project Origin for King and Con is coming to Megapom. As those of you who have been following KupoCon behind the scenes on Patreon and just generally keeping up to speed with everything on social media, you will know that the original date of the premiere for Project Origin was meant to be this August during the pop-up that we're hosting in London. We really reflected on it. We realized that a lot of the community couldn't make it, that London is an incredibly expensive city in the peak of summer. And, we did run into a couple roadblocks along the way that really kind of held up the production. And taking everything into account, we decided that we wanted to postpone. And I felt terrible to do it, but, we refunded the tickets and we said to ourselves, well, what can we do? We could do an online release or whatever, but it's not going to have the same special kind of community feel that we wanted to have. And after discussing it with the team and discussing it in great detail with Eric and really pulling my hair out, as you can see, we have come to the conclusion that the best time to do it was Megapom. So it's happening. The screening will be on Sunday evening after Community and Franchise Day. It's going to be hosted right inside the Novotel London West. You won't even have to leave the venue. You can go away after Community Day is done, go get some food, get changed into, more suitable attire for the premiere, and then you can come back down to the event floor and you can watch the screening. It's a 3-part event. There's going to be a reception at the beginning. Come in, get your photograph taken in front of the logo wall. We're going to have posters. We're going to have merchandise specifically for it, which is very, I can't say too much about the merchandise, but it's very movie-like. All special guests will be there, including some additional special guests. So some that maybe weren't there for the weekend will be there for the screening. It's an open invite. If you've ever been a guest at Kupo, you want to come see this screening, this is going to be a night to remember. There'll be an opportunity to get your posters signed and other goods signed. As I said, there'll be a lot of people there. It'll be a very exciting evening. And if we have enough time afterwards, we're going to have a bit of a post mixer. And there's also talk of maybe running a blooper reel because there was a lot of funny footage that was pulled. We think Project Origin the runtime should be somewhere around the 2 hours, 10-minute mark. I wish I could show you so much more. We've showed the patrons little bits and stuff. If you want more of a sneak peek, go back to our YouTube, watch all the old trailers and teasers. This is a phenomenal documentary that we're very, very proud of. Eric should be very proud of himself. I will not lie, it has been a giant headache. But it has been a worthwhile headache. I think because when you care about something as much as I've cared about seeing this documentary come together, that Eric will tell you that I've probably been quite difficult, but I'm very, very proud of the work that he has done. And I certainly, if I was wearing one, would take my hat off to him because I'm very proud of what he's achieved and continues to achieve. Now, you may be wondering, well, Eric did say it was an optional purchase. How much is the screening going to cost? Well, I didn't want the screening to cost much in the first place. The only reason why the screening tickets for the one in August were so high is because we were booking out this huge theatre. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to have a special team come in and set up a screen for us in the Novotel London West. And by doing so, by keeping everything in the venue, I've been able to keep the ticket incredibly low. And it's literally going to cost you pretty much what it would cost you to go to any movie, maybe even less. It's a tenner. It's just £10. That's it. If you get it during the early Chocobo discount period, it's £10. And if you get it afterwards, it's just 15. It's nothing. So please consider joining us for this very special event. And if you're wondering, I was planning to go home Sunday night. We're not going to run too late. So check the times on our website. They'll be posted shortly. But also, I'm pleased to report that the hotel rate that we do have goes all the way through till Tuesday. And it's a really good rate. So consider spending the whole weekend with us. There is a bit of a dress code going to be in place. Nothing too crazy, just to kind of keep the vibe. But we'd love to have you there. And I really do hope you can join us for the screening of Project Origin. So that's all the ticket information. Now, if you've been, if you're one of these people who's been calculating the numbers in your head there, and let's say that you're on a budget, let's say that you don't have a huge budget to work with here, and I get it. There are been times in my life where I'm like, I can't really afford this. I need to cut back. I need to, make it work. This is why I had a number in my head and I said to myself, I want someone to be able to come to Kupo, experience the whole of the convention and everything that comes with it and keep it under £100. And that's exactly what we've done. If you take the base mithril and you add on Pom Tins and you add on Project Origin, yes, it just brings you to £99. And by combining day 1 and day 2 together, it's also going to decrease the amount of money that you have to pay in Eventbrite fees, because obviously they charge you per ticket, and obviously if that was 2 separate tickets there would be additional charges. So we've done everything we can to keep it as affordable as humanly possible, and I hope you'll appreciate that effort that we've put in. So to wrap up, ticket sales will begin for patrons in the Patreon pre-sale on September 2nd at 6 p.m. UK. The public sale will start 24 hours later on September 3rd at 6 p.m. and the early Chocobo offer will expire on September 4th at 6 p.m. So that gives you 24 hours. If you're in the pre-sale, it gives you 48-hour window. So buy early, and now that 15 quid you save can turn into £20 if you book yourself a weekend pass, an evening pass for Saturday, and a screening, and you get it all during that early Chocobo discount period. You save 20 quid, which I think is pretty good. The Novotel London West has offered us a B&B rate, which is £129 a night. I'm going to say that's a great rate because that's a great rate. Now, of course, if you're still looking to squeeze your coin purse just a little bit more, there are a couple probably cheaper options a little bit closer. Then again, they may already be maxed out. I feel like they probably are, but this is a fantastic rate. We don't have a limit on bedrooms. They do have a block in place. I will ask them to keep extending it as much as humanly possible, but the likelihood is those rooms are going to fill very, very quickly. There will be a link to purchase on your ticket. That's right, a link. No calling, no emails. We're not having that shit show again. The Novotel have learned from their mistake and apologized. There is a link. I have it. I tested it. It works. I guarantee it. Table applications again will open with ticket sales. Remember that patrons are prioritized. It's very important that you fill out your application with as much detail as possible. Don't just put links. We did find that with Montreal, some people had chosen just to keep it very vague, and that didn't work out for them. So if you want a table for this event, make sure that you fill it out with great amounts of detail. Competitions, panels, bus scraps, all of that will be announced later. No specifics on that right now. Stay tuned. And all of this information and a lot more will go live on our website this coming Monday, tomorrow, KupoCon.com/MGP. The information will not go live right in the morning. We'll post on social media once that web page goes up. Well, that's all I have for you today. I'm going to be jumping over to Zoom now to chat with the patrons about today's cast. If you'd like to join us, you can find us at patreon.com/KupoCon. Your support means everything to us. It really does have a giant impact. That support allows us to do lots of online content like YZP. It helps fund all the artists that we hire for TriPom. It basically is the lifeblood of Kupo. So do consider supporting us there. Well, I think I've covered everything. It's been fun, and I look forward to seeing lots of you in August at the London Pop-Up. Remember, that event is practically free apart from one small part in the evening on Saturday, which is a paid social mixer and then the patron social mixer on Friday night. The rest of the weekend is free. Come down, check out some merch, have a chat. Maybe you're new to the community. This is a great kind of tester, so do join us for that. And if not, I hope to see you in Montreal or in London next year, or maybe even on PEI if you're feeling crazy in March. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Thanks so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Bye-bye, folks. See ya.